What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man ChazzEllis once again. And a lot of people have been talking about Tyrese Gibson and some of the issues that he's going through with his ex. He just got on social media. He been airing it out, been talking about the relationship, what he's going through and all that. And a lot of people like, man, shut up. They don't want to hear Tyrese. They like, yo, you don't need to be talking about her like that. You don't need to be saying this. You don't need to be saying that. Keep your business private. Now, the way I look at it is actually a little bit different than a lot of y'all might. I think that Tyrese has a right to speak his mind, and people generally only want to tell somebody to shut up when they don't want to hear what they have to say. All right. People get on social media and say all kind of stuff that's nobody's business, and nobody cares. As a matter of fact, social media gets on and talks about people and says stuff that's nobody's business, but yet everybody watches. But as soon as you hear something you don't want to hear, that's when you start saying, hey, you need to be quiet. You need to stop talking about this. It's a way of shutting somebody up. And I think it's a good thing that Tyrese is doing also because a lot of times, honestly, men just don't talk. You're starting to see it more now, but especially about their own personal life, personal experiences, and feelings that they have. You really just don't see men talk a lot. Here's why I think it's important that Tyrese is talking about this and talking about his feelings. People always talk about how men don't talk about their feelings. When we talk about the rates of, ending your own situation, as far as deleting yourself, as people say, we talk about the rates of that. People always say, oh, it's because men don't talk about their feelings. And then men will rebut, well, whenever we do talk about our feelings, you get mad. Well, I have to say this to men. You got to stop worrying about whether people are going to get mad when you talk about your feelings, all right? People can take it however you want to, but just like Tyrese is on TV or on social media talking about his feelings, you could do the exact same thing. The truth of the matter is, I went through a breakup several years back, man, and it reminds me, this is one of the biggest reasons why I think what Tyrese is doing is so important. Because when I went through this breakup, the thing about it was a lot of different moving parts and pieces and things going on in the situation. And I was really down, about just how everything was going, how I felt like I was being perceived and all of those type of things. I really just didn't feel like I had anybody to talk to. And I have my dad around. My dad recently passed away, but I had my dad around. I had male members of my family and stuff like that. But I just didn't really feel like I had anybody I could talk to because nobody was in my particular situation. And it was rough, man, because I was really going through it. I was really feeling bad. It was the first time in my life I really just felt sick about something and really just felt that emotional, And this is why, studies show that men take breakups worse than women. A lot of times it's because a man doesn't really have anybody to talk to. And just somebody I had just met at the time, a guy named Jervis, that was a good friend of mine. Man, I don't know if you ever watched this, bro. You really saved my life, man. I appreciate that. You saved my life. Because what he did was he had gone through basically my same situation before me. And, he just lined it up. It was like everything was just same. All the things I was going through, he just showed me what to look for, what I was seeing, and what would happen next, and it really put me in a situation. This is before I was even doing this, before I was even helping people online. He really just showed me like so much of the things that were happening and what would happen that it put me in a situation where I was able to bounce back a lot easier, and I was able to just not get taken out by everything that happened. Every time something bad would happen, or every time, the people involved would say something, my ex or family members or stuff like that, he would already have prepared me for what the person was going to do. So I started understanding that there was a playbook that people read out of, and I kind of got it. And it was good because I had a lot of background of learning stuff from my dad and stuff like that, and my family members and coaches and stuff. But what he did was he put it in a relationship context based on his own personal experience. So it really helped me understand like the emotional aspect of what was going on and what had happened with him. And crazy enough, like I was a grown ass man, bro, a full grown man. And that was the first time I ever talked about my feelings. I had never in my life talked about my feelings throughout my entire childhood, my teenage years. I had never once talked about my feelings. And it was crazy because As a man, a lot of times people tell you when you scrape your knee or something, get up, be a man, stop crying. And they don't realize that as you get older, you start thinking to yourself, like, as a man, I'm supposed to not have these feelings. When things happen to me, I'm supposed to find a way for it to be my fault. I'm supposed to find a way for me to be able to better myself. And other people generally reinforce that. So when Tyrese is talking about some of these different things that you really don't hear men talk about, what he's doing is not only is he helping the young men that's going to come up after him, he's also helping young women. Because women don't know how to be good partners to men because there's nobody to teach them. What do fathers generally teach their daughters? What to expect from men, what to get from men, and what men are supposed to do for them. They don't really teach their daughters anything about how to be a good partner, and they don't teach their daughters what they would want as a man. And then you got the moms, they don't really do that either, right? They reinforce the same thing. So a lot of daughters, a lot of women, when they see breakups involving their moms, involving their aunts and stuff like that, they don't get to see what the aunt was doing or what the mom was doing that could have caused the breakup or had something to do with it. All they see is men are bad, women are victims. So it doesn't teach women how to change anything or improve upon themselves to be able to get the type of person they want. And for young boys who grow up into men, you don't really understand like what to watch out for. You don't see any of the negative things coming your way or how to deal with breakups or how to express your emotions to people because you don't get to see the guy's side of the story ever. If your mom and dad break up, your dad never talks about the breakup if he's still in your life because you don't want to make mom mad, and mom, she either never talks about it or talks down on your dad. I had a friend of mine, he was like, man, my mom never talked down on my dad. And then he told me in the next breath, I found out that my mom cheated on my dad with my stepfather, or I guess I should say, who would become my stepfather, right? So she cheated on the dad with a dude and she got married to the other dude. But the mom never told the son that either. And I was like, bro, she was bad-mouthing your dad because she never told you, hey, your dad is not living with us. He's not in the picture right now because me and this dude wanted to build a life together. She never said that. So she was automatically bad-mouthing him by omitting the truth. And I think, unfortunately, because men don't talk, don't say anything, don't step up and tell their truth ever, a lot of young men get caught in a situation where they never, ever, ever get to understand how they could end up being in the same situation. Most of the time, if you got booted out of your kid's life because the mom wanted to marry the stepdad that she cheated with, when you reunite with your kids, you normally don't tell the story. You're like, well, I don't want to piss them off. I don't want to cause no trouble. And you normally just don't tell the story. But it's important to tell the story because now your kids know something to watch out for. So I think what Tyrese is doing is good because what Tyrese is doing is, even whether you agree with him, whether you don't agree with him, he's actually giving you a guy's side of the story. And we don't really get that very often. Most of y'all, even if y'all come up in single parent households, y'all ain't never heard your dad's side of the story. So it gives you a chance to better yourself, to know what to watch out for. And whether you agree with him or not, it's something that you could just have as food for thought. Once again, it's your man, ChazzEllis. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share this video with somebody else. If you need a consultation, you want to talk about some of your own situation you got going on, you need a strategy meeting, hit me up, ChazzEllis.com. Go to the shop page, get a consultation.